with your host, Patrick Wood. I'm your co-host, Logan House. Today we have the Epstein effect. Say goodbye to globalism, hello to technocracy. Rapid advancement of AI since the inauguration of Trump on January 23rd, 2025. With Ring, American consumers built a surveillance dragnet. And lastly, we have OpenAI engineer calls AI existential threat days after Anthropic safety lead Mirnank quit over the same concerns. Well, Patrick, let's start out with this one, the Epstein effect. Say goodbye to globalism, hello to technocracy. This is an article by you, and it's
yes, indeed,
pointing out how people are sick of the system, sick of the corruption, these politicians, and not having any accountability.
Yeah.
And we've had Mark Mitchell say that for weeks now, how a lot of these younger people, they're so sick of the current system we have now, they're open for AI to start running the government.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. One of the reasons that I'm not going to dig into the particulars of the Epstein files is that this big picture is just so blaring at this point. We don't need to dig in any further. When you consider all the stuff that's gone before, for instance, is the business of the United Nations, for instance, they declared they're going to destroy the economic system and replace it. They talk the technocracy movement themselves talk about there will be no place for politics or politicians. There's always been a murderous intent to kill the political system so technocracy can rise. Mm-hmm. They're at odds with each other. They've always been at odds with each other. And this is the way I'm looking at it at this point. Who tossed this grenade into the room in the first place? I don't know. Honestly, who did it? I don't care in particular. Maybe it was Larry Fink. Maybe it was Trump. Doesn't matter who, but somebody did at this point. The timing is just spectacular when you consider what is at stake right now. The political systems of the world, and especially in America, people are so fed up. They don't care anymore. They look at all this garbage just coming out, and all of these politicians at this point, this will not affect the business people or the technocrats, but all of the politicians at this point, they have mud on their faces, and the net effect is going to be people are just going to flat out give up on the political system altogether. Why bother? This is the attitude that I see everywhere right now, and this plays into technocracy's plan for the political system in the first place. Get rid of it. They're doing a good job. Then you have to consider just a couple years ago, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when the Trilateral Commission member stood up in a plenary meeting in India and declared that was I think that point that was at 23, that was year one of the new economic order. Well, what does that tell you as well? This is the transition away from the old and into the new. The perfect way to do that is just throw this bombshell on society, get everybody worked up on it, get everybody disillusioned, and then the thrust will come.
Yep. And we see that happening already. I mean, if you just go on most social media sites and you'll start seeing all these people who are done with the system, done with these politicians, even people who were huge Trump supporters over the Epstein files. They're saying, I can't support him anymore. And I want all these people fired who are not willing to investigate it. And that's another big thing is not just the people being exposed in the files for being corrupt, but it's the people who are unwilling to arrest and go after the people in the files, and they're losing trust on both sides.
It would seem so. I look at some of these interviews, like in the Senate or the Congress, the House, for instance, people being interviewed like Pam Bondi and others. It's really sickening. But there's nothing anywhere at this point trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find anything that's trustworthy or people talking common sense. So my guess is that people are going to throw up their hands, throw the whole system out, figure, and you know what? There's no way that we can elect more people at this point to fill all these positions, right? So the corruption the rot is going to be there for a long time coming, if forever. The only thing that we can do is just basically sweep it aside, just make it irrelevant, if not just sweep it aside altogether. That's what the technocrats wanted to do in 1934.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to completely dismantle our political system, all the representation of the people. Well, here we are. We're at that point right now.
Yep, we see it happening.
Yes, and this creates a vacuum. This is my whole point of this article. A vacuum is being created. What will fill that vacuum? The only thing in sight is technocracy.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious what's going to fill it. I don't see anything else.
And unfortunately, for all the communists and the socialists and the fascists in the country, they're going to have no place at the table because they can't run a country. And the people in our country, I think, are going to be so disgusted with everything, they're going to look at any political system at that point and figure it's all corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't just go that way at all. The answer, of course, that's already been positioned is AI could be the partial arbiter of justice. Make things fair, make better judgments than the humans are making right now. You can see it coming.
Yep, you can.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on to the next story you have here. This is also by you at technocracy.news. The rapid advancement of AI since the inauguration of Trump on January 23rd, 2025. And it really has taken off. I mean, it's been rapidly going since he was inaugurated. And everyone's seeing that, I think, right?
I would think so. But, people are so... Our minds are stuck about 6 months before where we are right now. That's a problem when things are advancing so quickly, and yet we're talking in terms of what happened 6 months ago. That doesn't lead you to a good conclusion, actually. But nevertheless, the only purpose in this article was to demonstrate what I said in early 2025, that there will be a doubling effect from that day forward to the end of the Trump administration, where basically AI is doubling every 4 months, maybe three and a half months, whatever, in prowess and calculations and scholarship, whatever, any way you measure it, it's been doubling every few months. At this point, we're probably about 8x where we were when Trump was inaugurated in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we're dealing with something much, much more powerful than when he was just first came in on January 23rd. Now, this year is going to be really interesting, because if this rate of advancement goes forward from here, maybe it's be a little bit slower, maybe faster. I don't know. That we'll see how fast it is, but nevertheless, probably this year is going to see anywhere between a 50 and a 64 50x from where we were at the beginning in January of 25. That would be the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look at something that's been doubling like this, the effect of doubling gets larger, geometrically larger as you go in time.
Yeah.
50 times more than it was when Trump was inaugurated. What does that mean? What can you even fathom?
Yeah, I was going to say you can't even fathom what 50 times more than it is now. You can't even fathom 20%, 20 times more than it is now. What it will be doing.
Exactly. So this is one reason I've been saying that there's going to be a collapse of reality at some point when people just go bonkers and they can't they'll throw up their hands at this and say, I can't deal with this. I just have to treat it as magic at that point. Well, this year, 2026, probably will see about a 50x factor multiplier from day one. I say day one was January 23rd. So next year, we're going to see more of the same if it continues at this pace. At the end of next year, 2027, it's going to be in the stratosphere. Absolutely in the stratosphere.
In this article, you even asked a language model the question of how much it has increased since the inauguration. And it's pretty much agreeing with you, maybe a little bit more conservative numbers, but it says if you invest in that infrastructure, you can get something that behaves like a much more powerful, reliable AI worker than in early 2025 chatbots, close to your 10x claim in some workflows. So it's not just you saying it, even the own language models are saying it.
Exactly.
Well, we got to go to break. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Get the break.
We got to go to break. We'll be back in just a moment.
There's really only one person in the world, and you've had him on the show, Dr. Mark Miller, who understood what would happen if you combined these three ingredients: the collagen, the Versol B collagen, the asteryl astaxanthin, and the cat's claw. And each one of them independently are amazing, but when you put them together synergistically, they increase each other's power. And that's why we're getting all these amazing results. And the reason why they're so great, Brendan, is because when you take a look at collagen, you mentioned it, hair, skin, nails, but collagen also makes up 40% of the protein in your body, makes up your gastrointestinal lining. This is why you're not having to take Pepcid anymore. It makes up your joint spaces, your bone health, your teeth health. You need a good collagen in you, and we have the best, but it's because of the other two ingredients. Asteryl astaxanthin, 70 human clinical trials. And by the way, collagen, or Versol B collagen, has 10 human clinical trials behind it. Astaxanthin is water soluble and fat soluble, so it can get and protect around the cell, but it can also get into the cell and protect inside the cell, where it sets up by the mitochondria, the powerhouse energy producing organelles. And when it produces energy, it's going to spit out some free radicals, and we need a great antioxidant to absorb those and scavenge those free radicals. And there's nothing better than astaxanthin. It's 6,000 times stronger than vitamin C, 3,000 times stronger than resveratrol, 850 times stronger than CoQ10, 350 times stronger than green tea extract. It is the powerhouse, the king of all antioxidants. And then let's not forget about the cat's claw. Cat's claw is the king of I would say from a standpoint of reducing and eliminating inflammation. That's what it does. It really targets that nuclear factor kappa B. Not really necessarily, that, but that's the pathway to your cells that causes us so many problems, because chronic inflammation in our bodies causes health issues. And when we can reduce and eliminate that, we have a home run. And that's what the cat's claw does. The astaxanthin is also an anti-inflammatory. Collagen also has properties of being anti-inflammatory. Synergistically together, these three are a powerhouse.
All right, welcome back from the break. Jim, or Patrick, you left off. You're about to say something. What were you going to go into next?
Well, what's happened this year, you see all of these programmers talking about how advancements have been made in coding practices with Claude, for instance, that's Anthropic, OpenAI, and Gemini as well. And the talk of the town at this point is about agentic AI. We've discussed that before. But at this point, there's been a full court press on developing programming skills in AI versus other type of skills, maybe just general skills like the legal industry or some other aspect, an insurance industry, whatever, or the government. There's been a full court press on getting agents in place that can write code in particular. And it's stunning at this point how much that has advanced.
Yeah.
The reason this has happened this way is because these arch technocrats who are running these companies, they want to get AI to the point where it can extend itself without human intervention. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, AI will write AI programs in the future. What does this mean? Well, we don't really know for sure, but just consider the next breakthrough in AI capabilities might be coming from AI itself, not from a human programmer.
Yeah. And we're seeing that. I mean, at the beginning of AI, I've seen many people saying the best field to go into right now is learning how to code. And now that's all going out the window. Now people are saying, I'm sorry, but if you were going, into the field of learning how to going to computers and coding, then you're going to be taken over.
It would appear that that's a bad industry to be in at this point. Mm-hmm. There's going to be lots of jobs shed, I'm sure. We see it all over the place, even like Amazon laying off people, large corporations laying people off, and they say it's because of AI. Maybe it isn't, but that's not the point. People are afraid that AI is going to take their job. But the sponsors of AI in the first place, their sights are set on the singularity, where AI will take off on its own to improve itself without human intervention. And where this will lead, well, we don't really know at this point. That's the problem. Well, that's not the only problem, but I mean, we can't see into the future this way. So this is very scary going forward. And AI has already taken a role. For instance, we talked about the Molt book episode recently, mm-hmm. right? Where all these chatbots were interacting on a social media platform like Reddit. It wasn't Reddit, but it was like Reddit. And this whole system was developed by one guy over a weekend. He was a tech bro, but he came out of retirement and figured, hey, this would be cool to do. And he wrote the whole program using AI in one day. And he turned it loose on the world. And all of a sudden, all these chatbots came into the system, and they start interacting with each other. And they invented cryptocurrency scams. They invented a religion along the way, and they had all these conversations among themselves. No human interaction at all, just the AI and interacting with itself with other programs. Mm-hmm. So this is really crazy stuff. But some people looked at that the Molt book episode as a singularity itself. In fact, Elon Musk said that. outright. He said, this is the beginning of this singularity.
Yeah, well, once AI is creating AIs, that's another part of singularity, is it not?
That's the heart of it.
Yeah.
That's the heart of it, really, because if the humans are so dumbed down at that point where they can't keep up with the coding advancements, the humans would just be watching from the outside what happens.
Mm-hmm. AI would just start building stuff and we'd see it pop up.
Exactly. And so nobody at this point can predict what AI will create in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll understand it. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll have no rationale at all to justify it. You would think somebody will have their hand on the power plug along the way, just to pull the plug on the whole thing. That won't happen, I don't think. But people like Sam Altman running the world, he's not going to let that happen. He'll guard that plug religiously, I'm sure. But here we are. This is the reality of AI at this point.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Do you want to go on to this Ring story?
Oh, that's a fun one.
Let's do it. The Ring, the company most people know that does the doorbell cameras and the security cameras, had a Super Bowl commercial during, obviously, the Super Bowl. And it has gone viral. People thinking it's very draconian what they're proposing. And they're not proposing it. This is already a thing. This is put in, you don't have a choice. I mean, you can disable it supposedly, but it comes ready to go on. So unless you go and disable it, it's already there. You want to play
maybe we could play this first video in the article, the one, the ad from the Super Bowl first. It's short.
Yep. Let's play this. Here's their ad from the Super Bowl.
This is Milo. Pets are family. But every year, 10 million go missing. And the way we look for them hasn't changed in years. Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search Party from Ring uses AI to help families find lost dogs. Since launch, more than a dog a day has been reunited with their family. Be a hero in your neighborhood with Search Party. Available to everyone for free right now. Join the neighborhood at ring.com.
All right, there you go. So your cameras, they basically created a web of all the cameras that can be used as a surveillance to find lost dogs. That's all they're going to use it for, right, Patrick?
The wonder of it all. Well, okay. How about let's extend this to say silver alerts or amber alerts, searching for missing people. And how about if we can extend this to the criminals? Maybe there's a sex predator in the neighborhood. Somebody finds out he's not registered or he is registered with authorities, and they put out a kind of a warrant, if you will, on the search network, the local search network. Find this guy, right? Whatever. Get him arrested or something. This is crazy dystopia. Totally dystopia. And Americans have done this themselves. Do you have this other video?
I do. Wise is a competitor company that came out with an ad based on Ring's ad. But I also want to point out this point. Someone put this out. I thought this was interesting as well. They claim in the ad 10 million dogs go missing every year. And then later in the ad, they claim that they're finding one dog a day. So there's 10 million dogs go missing every year, finding 365 of them using this tool. So it's not very effective, even according to their own ad. But here is this company, Wise Cam. This is their new ad.
This is Milo. Pets are family, but every year 10 million of them go missing. And the ways we look for them haven't changed in years, except for all of these. But what if we could make finding one lost dog require the computational power of a small, dictator-led nation state? Search Party from Ring uses AI to search through our tens of millions of cameras. We could find literally anyone, but we only use this technology to find lost dogs. Recently, we announced a partnership with over 5,000 law enforcement agencies, but we won't let them use this feature This feature is just for dogs. Guess what? We've automatically opted your cameras in. Who has time to read settings? Not you. You're too busy being a hero, whether you know it or not. And the best part, it's free for everyone. We're just doing this out of the goodness of our hearts. Customers are loving Search Party, and so will you. Don't these nice images of kids reuniting with their lost dogs feel good? Look at this one. Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy? There's absolutely no reason to go to wise.com and buy a camera with an SD card, because if you own all your own footage, you won't be able to help people find lost puppies. I'd tell you to join the neighborhood, but you're already in it. Search Party, way better than Wisecam, and definitely only for dogs.
I love it. I love this part where he says our customers are loving it and the reviews pop up. I got to find it. And all the reviews are the CIA, FBI, NSA.
Oh my God.
That's a clever ad.
It really is. Well, this is the world we live in at this point. And by the way, I've been thinking about Weiss. Their solution is not connected to anything, and there's no Wi-Fi. There's no other connection to the internet, so your camera can't be used to spy on anything. But you have an SD card that can be inserted into the thing, and it will record anything that you want on that SD card. That's a little memory chip, right? Mm-hmm. And okay, so if something happens, it'll flash a little red light or something as something has been recorded. You pull out your SD card, put it in your computer, and there you go. Yeah. Look at your own videos and don't let anybody else have access to them.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I have to look into it more. Well, we're all out of time for today, but what is today? Today's Thursday, so we'll be back next week with 2 more episodes. Until then, go to technocracy.news to keep up with all the headlines Patrick puts out. You've been putting out a lot. There's a lot to report on.
Exactly. It really is.
We'll be back next week. Take care.
Studies have shown America's water supply is not safe. It is filled with toxins and chemicals. Go look it up. This is fact. Fact check me. And then I'll offer you this solution. Worldviewwater.net. Take a look at this list. This water purifier removes all kinds of harmful toxins like lead, fluoride, chlorine, arsenic, pesticides, bacteria, and pharmaceuticals, and more. This is the water I give to my 3 dogs. I drink it every day. I have one of the filters in my kitchen, under the kitchen sink, and then I have one on my shower. Do you know how much your skin absorbs of water when you're in the shower each and every day? Protect yourself and your body. Remain healthy. Eat good food. Drink purified, clean water. One of the most powerful water filters available in America. Worldviewwater.net. That's worldviewwater.net. Again, tell your family and friends about it. In fact, maybe even give this as a gift to some of your family and friends, particularly those of you who have children and grandchildren. Worldviewwater.net. Go to worldviewtalk.com. Get your satellite phone like I have, because you know what? China is in on our power grid. That is a matter of proven fact. If you want to have communications with your loved ones, your family, your children, maybe your spouse travels, maybe you have a child away at college, you want communication should the grid go down. That's why you need a satellite phone, worldviewtalk.com. But look what else they have. They also have solar generators. I have one of their solar generators. I have the Delta Echo 400, a solar generator. So I can, of course, charge my satellite phone. I can run my coffee pot. I can run my whole house if I want to. All the details are there at worldviewtalk.com, or use that number, 1-866-738-3224. They have very friendly operators that will explain to you their products, but you can explain to them what it is you're desiring to acquire. How much electricity are you wanting to generate with this solar generator? Well, they'll tell you what size you need. Worldviewtalk.com or 1-866-738-3224.